What is going on YouTube? Head back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as Ethereum Classic to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap as well as the consolidation period that you guys have been strongly awaiting for a potential move in either direction. I know it gets boring for some, but for most, this is a period of excitement as we await a potential break in the crypto charts that we will be looking at, kind of trying to figure out exactly when this break is going to happen. I also have an article that I'd like to share with you guys in regards a reference to a previous video that I made. I was talking about Tom Lee about Bitcoin breaking to higher levels, and he did mention this in a video that I was not able to show, but CNBC did release an article that does go into specifics in regards to this possibility. Otherwise, guys, if you're new to the channel, want to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're doing a giveaway soon. Otherwise, drop a thumbs up and let's jump right into today's episode. So guys, we are on the current coin market cap, and as you can see, out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, we're definitely still in a period of consolidation, with 5 out of 5 being in green and 5 out of 5 being in red, or 5 out of 10. So we're about half 50-50. Majority of the coins that are up are only up by about, I'd say, 1% max, and the coins that are down by no more than 1%. So once again, this does include another day, or inference another day, of sideways movement, which you can see clearly orchestrated right here on Bitcoin. We do have some other cryptos that are sideways trading, pretty much majority of the ones that are in red. But what's interesting is we did see some kind of jump yesterday. After I made a video, we started to see some volume trickle into the markets. Ethereum, Litecoin was affected, Bitcoin Cash was affected. They all started to show some signs of potential movements to the upside, which I would like to orchestrate in today's video as to what exactly that did. Now, majority of the coins are in that consolidation period once again, and what I mean by that, because I feel like there's a lot of confusion when I say consolidation, I'm merely referencing that nothing is really going on, like sideways movement. There's no change really in the prices. We've been staying at around 10,350 for Bitcoin and $70 for Litecoin for days now, if not weeks now, and I would like to go into specifics as to what exactly I mean by that, because I feel like the comments do explain a lot about what you guys are feeling. Now, before I jump into the charts, I would like to look at this article. As you know, it said Bitcoin's heading to a new all-time high along with the S&P 500, says Fundstrat's Tom Lee. So, you know, he does make some good points, whether you guys agree with him or not, but as I scrolled down, he did mention, where is it? Something about the correlation with the behavior of Bitcoin and the markets. So basically, he's talking about a Bitcoin bull case. The digital crypto is headed for a new record high. He says Bitcoin has kind of stalled recently because of the macro outlook has stalled, which is what I've been saying. Consolidation or stalling is pretty much in reference. In other words, according to Lee, as stocks go, so goes Bitcoin, at least for now. If markets make a new all-time high and we see a central bank still supportive, it's kind of good for liquidity. So there's liquidity going into Bitcoin. More importantly, if there's an interest in acquiring some volatility, that's where you're going to see people buying Bitcoin. So this is what I wanted to talk about. With Lee expecting the S&P 500 to climb to 3,125 or higher by year end, this could mean a major rally is in the cards for the increasingly volatile digital currency. Bitcoin reached an all-time high of 20,000 in late 2017, according to Coinbase. All-time highs is around 3,025, which it reached earlier this year, Lee said. I think we're going to surpass that soon, and as it would be bullish for Bitcoin. And you'll notice that pretty much in the 10 years since Bitcoin's launch, the best years of the S&P 500 have coincided with the best years for Bitcoin. So very, very, very interesting and peculiar to note that as the prices move up within Bitcoin, so does the ones within the S&P 500. So they are kind of linked. Doesn't mean that correlation is causation, and we'll see both of these happen, but it does give us some opportunity that if that does, you know, happen to work out the way they're planning, we will see that movement within Bitcoin too. Now, to scroll down and start focusing on Bitcoin's chart, you'll notice a few key points that I would like to discuss with you. We're pretty much at the end of this channel right here, and I know you guys have been pretty much waiting patiently. Right? Most of you, a lot of people are getting annoyed that the market isn't really showing much signs of, you know, uptrend, which is fair, and it is something I do understand. Now, The thing with this is when we do see coins start to fall to lower levels, that is pretty much opening buying opportunities for the market. We've seen much consolidation in the past, previously referring to this major uptrend that we had here. Oops, did not mean to do that line. Back in 2017, we had this major bull run, and it opened a massive flag. You can see this massive flag we've been tracing, which inevitably broke bearish. But with the channel that we did trace out, this descending triangle, you'll notice we did come to a point that was very easy to track. Unfortunately, we were able to break bearish, which obviously we weren't all anticipating, but this is a surefire sign that this does mean we can pretty much predict opportunities when they present themselves. In regards, we were able to track this major downtrend that we were not able to break, followed by a support easily drawn out. Same thing goes with the fact that we extended the downtrend, and when we were able to come into contact with this months later, all the way from November of 2018 to March of 2019, we were able to come into contact, giving us enough pressure to break through it. Once we broke through this, opened the opportunities towards moving to higher levels. You can see a similar thing is happening right now. Now, as much as I don't want to consider a major retracement all the way back down to $3,000, $3,700, which I think is unlikely for right now, we do see a very similar pattern in regards to the consolidation, the higher lows and the lower highs, which all come to one point. Now, we are very, very, very close to that point, closing off. And as you saw in previous times, they do indicate points of major volume. Now, unfortunately, major volume isn't great at assessing bullish moves or bearish moves, but it does help us point out when it's going to happen. Now, this ends right at about September, I'd say 18th or 17th, which is literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Friday of this coming week, which is very good news because it is very close. Now, you notice the interesting pattern we're having right now is the fact that we are trading up top above the descending triangle, which is interesting. We're using this to trend lower, but we are being withheld by support. So it seems like we are kind of in a pickle right now, but soon enough, within the next 3 to 5 days, we should see that volume we were all anticipating, with tons of support holding Bitcoin's price up, as well as the resistance being broken. It's merely just a waiting game before we see a potential uptrend or downtrend in effect. Now, if we do have any correlation with Tom Lee Fundstrat and his Fundstrat article or whatever, in regards to the S&P 500 being intertwined with this, if the S&P 500 decides to move up to those higher levels, we should most certainly be linked with Bitcoin's price and should see that potential moves to the upside as well. Now, what's interesting to note is the fact that all the other cryptocurrencies, at least within the top 10, are pretty much waiting on something. They've all kind of synced up in regards to their price analysis and their price movement. You'll notice that the past couple of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, almost over a week now, the price has not been able to move in between anything between $67 and maybe $71, which is a very small gap. And when we see this consolidation, it usually opens the doors for volume, which you can see, unfortunately, we had volume here. But the fact that we traded out of a major descending wedge on Litecoin does open doors to, higher price movements. The fact that we are below the high-low middle moving average right now does give me some benefit of the doubt to believe that we should be able, if volume comes, to shoot up to this level very easily. I think the downtrend, we don't have much further to ride down with. We are trading at 45 and we've been flatlined out here, so it's merely just a waiting game now for these coins to really show their true selves and show us which direction these plan on moving. Now, obviously, in regards to how exactly to get involved with that, it comes to a certain pattern or certain procedure that I've figured out, and basically it's to wait. Basically, if we cross these, since we've identified the channel within Litecoin, we've noticed that it has an interesting time or a problem breaking through a $72 resistance, and it has a problem breaking through $67 support. So it's as simple as this. When the coin does decide to cross either one of these, it should indicate a rally of the sort, volume moving back in. So if we see a cross of $72, it should indicate a buying opportunity for us, and it should rally up much higher. Now, obviously, we will practice and buy off that, because if we do buy at levels as, flatlined out as this in this stalling period, it's pretty much a 50-50 risk, which I don't want to, get involved with. I'd like to minimize my risk and then make an educated play. If we see a breakout below here or a breakdown below here, obviously then we can assess that we should be buying in once we hit lower levels. Most definitely the bottom of the support right here, somewhere along this line. Now, to show you guys Ethereum and wrap things up with Ethereum Classic, Ethereum Classic is coming into contact finally with a very strong resistance now. You'll notice we've been using a support ever since February of 2019, and it's been holding an uptrend for quite some time now. Numerous points of support, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're getting in problems with its resistance. Obviously, we're starting to trend back up, obviously coming back to this middle ground, sort of like a magnet coming back to its center point, very close to the high-low MMA, which you can see is right here between 208 and 230. So we're merely just waiting to see what exactly goes along with this. This is a huge resistance right here. If we manage to climb above this and break through resistance, it'll act as a huge support, and that will be a beautiful thing. But for right now, it's going to have some trouble breaking through here. So honestly, my points right now are to pay attention to Litecoin, Bitcoin, and most definitely Ethereum Classic as well. Ethereum Classic playing out in a beautiful symmetrical triangle, which you can see is right here, beautifully on an uptrend. You can see right now we are hitting a resistance, or sorry, hitting our old support, which we did bounce beautifully off as we're starting to climb back up. And I can easily see us retaking $6.50 all the way up to $7. Now that is going to wrap up today's episode, guys. If you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.